welcome to yet another video. Today we have a quite interesting setup. So I'm in the kitchen. We're gonna be preparing some coffee. This time it will be decaf coffee because we are in a bit of a late afternoon mood. So would like to be able to sleep tonight. So decaf it is. Decaf it is. I've prepared. I've honestly prepared the video. So I've prepared quite an interesting setup. I'm actually gonna just record a video, and yeah, you'll be seeing this in post production. Right. So this is the setup. I've put all of this together, and I've even got another stove because my stove is underneath all of this. So yeah, that's occupied. Yeah, we are gonna be preparing some coffee, some delicious coffee. So, first let's grab the coffee. The coffee is over here, and we are gonna be choosing our decaf blend. Decaf. Alright, so I know that there is death before decaf or whatever. I'm not a decaf lover, but I'm a coffee lover, and I'd like to have a nice cup of coffee in the afternoon and be able to sleep. So it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So, since everything's already set up, we're gonna start by measuring 15 grams of coffee. So 15 grams of coffee it is. And we are gonna do two measures. So first 15 grams, we're gonna put that on the grinder, and then we're gonna measure another 15 grams. So 15 it is. We put that on the grinder. Easy busy. And we are gonna measure another 15 grams of coffee. So 30 grams in total, and we are gonna be using 350 milliliters of water. So that will be our ratio. So 15 grams it is. As you can see from the previous coffee video, it is much easier to put the coffee on the scale and to put the coffee on the grinder when you have two hands. Having one hand was not ideal to record coffee videos. So yeah, and we'll still have enough coffee for another day. Alright, so coffee start, and now we wanna water down. We are gonna water down the coffee a bit, just so that it's moist, and just so that when it grinds, it doesn't spread all around. Alright, so our 30 grams of coffee are on the grinder. We're gonna water the second batch as well. And we are not gonna need nor this anymore. So let's just clean this a bit. And we're gonna put it aside. Not the brush, we're gonna be using the brush later on. And while we're grinding, we're gonna be using with our time, not throw anything around. And we're gonna also be using the water fountain to fill the mocha pot and be efficient with our time. We want to be efficient with our time. So let's go. Alright, so now the coffee is grinding. So probably looking at this camera, which is a bit lower. Yeah, so coffee is grinding, the water fountain's fountain the water, and we just need to be careful and be watchful that all of the coffee is properly ground and we left nothing on top of the grinder. So just use the brush, push the coffee inside of the grinder, and grind again. Alright. We want to heat a bit the coffee grinder. That that's usually not gonna span its lifetime. It's probably not good for it. But otherwise, like the coffee gets stuck, and if you just do a bit of gentle tap with the brush, that's enough to make it all go inside of the container. So now you should be able to see. I hope. Oh no, this is too dark. You should be able to see some coffee in there. Maybe not. Maybe lighting's not on my side. So, but trust me, there's coffee in there. And you'll see that when we pour this into the tumbler. So just put it in. Let's use the back of the brush just to do a gentle and light tapping. So now all of the coffee is in, and this is pretty much like clean now. So you can do just a little cleaning with the brush, and that's good enough. Alright, so let's put this here for another day. Let's swirl a bit our coffee. That is finely grinded. It's not finely grinded, like it's a medium size. Like you don't want it like too coarse, like if you were doing like a pour over, or too fine, like if you were doing like an espresso or whatever. Like just a middle ground. So for me, like the mocha pot is a middle ground between espresso and a pour over. Alright, so that's there. Now we don't want to burn this thing. I don't know if this surface even burns. But we don't want to find out. Not at all. Alright. So let's quickly grab this. Like this is boiling water, but if you move it quickly, there's enough time between you burning your hand and having that thing in there. So now this is as simple as you just place this in there, put the tumbler on top, and just open up the tumbler. And now you can just slightly move the coffee underneath. You can even put this aside, put it there, and use this thing to lightly poke on the coffee. You can steer it around if you see that it's not even. If there's some coffee like on the sides on the tumbler, you can just push it down. Like just be gentle with the coffee. That's the whole point. Like you want to enjoy the experience, play with it, and do it carefully. So if we wanted like a fast cup of coffee, like this is not the method, of course. This is more of a middle ground between I want to enjoy my coffee experience and I want a decent cup of coffee, and I don't want to spend the whole afternoon cleaning stuff, and also I don't want to make like too much. Like for me, it's the perfect cup of coffee, but for you, it might not be. You might like espresso, or you might like other thing. So everyone has its own. It's just like a trade-off, you know. It's always a trade-off. All right. So now let's close the mocha pot. Let's be careful. All right. All right. So this mocha pot has served me fairly well. Like it's not that old. Like it has like I would say 2 years old maybe. So it's probably like gonna last still like another 2 or more. I don't know. But I mean I use it every day, so it's fairly well used. So let's put the mocha pot in here, and let's try and see if this mocha pot can work with this stove. This will be the point that ruins the video. Just because I haven't tested it, like this will be a first time. And I don't know if this mocha pot can work with this kind of a stove. Like this is an induction stove, and this is a mocha pot. So compatibility, I'm not so sure. I'm gonna press the camera against the wall because it has fallen on me a couple times before starting recording, and don't want to happen again. So I guess that we do that. And I should have probably like read some instructions. Okay, so that's heating, definitely heating. And this seems to be like some temperature adjustment. So I don't know, like that. Is that doing the thing? I'm not even sure how to measure if this thing is doing the thing or it's not. So, one option that we have is that I think I have like a thermometer here. I would please like for you to stop beeping. If that were to be possible, I'd very much so there are two settings. Okay, so that's temperature and that's power, so we want to adjust based on temperature. And this is supposedly okay, so this has turned off. So I guess that it's not quite working. So can't recommend this. Also the noise is like non-pleasant. Is this heating? I mean, it's definitely hotter than room temperature, but I wouldn't say it's heating up. Okay, so we've got 41 degrees. I thought it was 400. So definitely this is not working. Yeah. Couple things we could do. So let me actually try something fairly stupid. So I don't think like this is gonna be boiling. I mean, it's hot, but I don't know. Like, is it? I don't want to touch it, like, of course. So I guess that we will just have to wait. Like, is it even heating up? Maybe it is. Maybe it actually is. Okay, so that's maximum temperature, and it doesn't seem to be heating up. Or like this is cold. This is hot, but it's just hot because we poured hot water in there. So I don't think that we are getting anywhere while doing this. Options that we could have is that we could use a pan to put this thing on top of a pan, and maybe we can try doing that. Though I suspect I will be burning my pan somehow, so don't try this. Like, don't ever try. Like, this pan is induction pan, so it'll be fine. Yeah, now it's working. And if I put this on top, will it work now? Like, I just don't want to move the thing around too much, just so it doesn't damage the pan. And this should work. Like, now I feel it working because it's like moving a bit. So maybe we have saved the day. I didn't really want to dismount all of this just to do this thing. So I don't know. If we end up causing a fire, it was not my fault. I hope it was not my fault. Just clean this in the meantime. And I think that the coffee is boiling. Of course, this can't be good for the pan, but you know, yeah. I've seen that there were some adapters for this kind of moka pots to make them work on induction stove, so that could have been a clue for me to know that this was not gonna work first try without doing something else, to be honest. But now we have empirically proven that it indeed doesn't work. We'll see if it works like this. Like, I don't know how much will be the heat transfer at the moment. I don't know how good it will be. I mean, it's definitely like you can definitely see that it's definitely trying to get the coffee up. So I don't know. Like, let's try to get a decent shot. Like, that's what's in the coffee. Like, I don't know if it's gonna work. Like, I don't know how much is the heat transfer between this thing and this thing. But I definitely see here some boiling. So maybe heat transfer is good enough. Definitely it feels slower than if I were doing this like on the gas burner. Definitely it feels slower. And also, if this is not properly centered, it will not work at all. It will not work at all. So yeah, let's wait a bit. Let's wait a bit more. And if it doesn't work at the end, oh, we got some coffee. We got some coffee, boys. All right, there it is. We make it. We make it. All right. So as you can see, de-caff coffee is usually like darker than regular coffee. So yeah, that's darker indeed. Up. All right. So I've managed to see something interesting on how this was boiling. Let's just turn this off. Yeah. Let's be careful so that this doesn't happen. Alright, yeah. Yeah. I know. Okay, so this should be a decent cup of coffee right now. So let's just pour it over. Ooh. All right. Alright, so that was a very nice pour of coffee. So I'm happy with that. Let me just put this back in. Right. Just a little bit less. Okay. So this is fine. I don't know how hot that is, but I definitely don't wanna feel it. So I'm just gonna leave it there for a bit. Like I hear like some kind of fan going. So I suspect that that's getting colder. So a couple things that I don't know if you've noticed the second one, but a couple things that are interesting about what has happened and how induction works. So there are like three main ways that you can heat up a pan. So you can just use fire, like a gas burner. That could be like literally fire, or maybe you are burning natural gas, or maybe you are burning some other kind of gas or whatever, or coal or wood. So that way you can heat a pan. I guess that this is not too hot now, but I should be fine to move it. So let me just put this over here and let it keep cooling down, but away from the microphone. If it cools down away from the microphone, that'd be better. So things that we've noticed about the induction stove. First thing, like this is made out of aluminium, like the Moka pot, and the aluminium doesn't conduct the heat that well. So it doesn't conduct the electricity that well. So the thing is that it doesn't have a Joule's effect, so it doesn't heat up when the electricity is trying to flow actually through the Moka pot. So it doesn't heat up, like not at all. Like I could have left it there like forever and it wouldn't have ever heated up. On the other hand, this pan probably has some iron or some other thing that can work with the induction stove. So actually, instead of heating the induction stove like it would happen with a regular stove, electric stove, what the thing that heats is directly the pan. So it's targeted there. and the pan's getting hot, and that heat is just getting transferred to the moka pot because it's on top. But it's not that the stove's getting hot and the heat from the stove is coming up. That would be only if the stove were to be an electric stove. Let's just pour some milk in the coffee. The second interesting thing that I've noticed, that I don't know if you've been able to notice as well, is that this heats so fast, like it's quite powerful. So it actually can't be like a full speed all the time. So it just hits a lot, turns down, hits a lot, turns down, hits a lot, and it's just doing that to control the temperature. And you could notice that when the coffee was rising, like it rose, then it stopped a bit, then it flashed stronger, then it stopped a bit. So it was just like a second, like a couple of flashes, but you could actually see in the flow of the coffee, like the pulses. And you don't usually see that. Well, you don't see that at all on the gas stove. Like the gas stove is constant at a certain temperature, and it's just rising that temperature or maintaining it, and that's it. And you don't see like changes in flow. But here they were actually visible. But yeah, I'll stop boring you the physics. Also, like I'm not the best at explaining that. Like I'm not a physicist, not a explainer. Yeah, explain. Surely that's the word. And well, we've ended up with a pretty fine cup of coffee. It's dark just because it's like it's de-caff coffee. But again, I want to sleep tonight. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed the experience. Hope you have learned something about electric stoves. And if you ever encounter one and need to face some issues or need to just make it work, like it was the case here, hope you can do that and that you have the tools to do it now. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, actually, let me just taste the coffee. Ooh. It's to fill to the brim. Ooh. That's a good cup of coffee. Bye!